you do roll call, please?
District 1,
Here.
District 2, Pastor,
Present.
Here.
District 5, Councilwoman Giles, District 6,
Here.
Mayor Damaris,
Here.
Thank you, Shelley. Can you do the invocation, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Amen. Freddie, can you lead us on the flag?
Yes, sir, I will.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Got to gavel soon.
That's all right.
I'm not used to it. Okay, new business. 1A, pursuant to ARS Section 38-291, council will consider to lawfully accept the resignation of District 5 Councilwoman Charlene Giles and request to waive Section 2-4-10A prior discussion rule.
Mr. Vice Mayor, members of council, we received an email from Councilwoman Giles. Let me go ahead and read that to you.
Okay.
And this was yesterday, April 5th, 2021 at 2:02 p.m. It was from Councilwoman Giles to City Clerk Shelley Salazar. Subject District 5 says, "Hello, Shelley. As you are the official keeper of the record and correspondence, I am informing you I am quitting the Globe City Council for District 5. Unlike others in the administration, you have always been a real pleasure to work with. Thank you."
Thank you, Paul.
And so we checked in with the statutes, and in order to create that vacancy by law, by state statute, Section 38-291, we must create the vacancy by legally accepting the resignation, and so that's just an affirmative vote by a majority of the council. Bill, did I get that right?
You did?
That was a resignation.
That was it.
And we did inform Councilwoman Giles that we received it and that would be agendized in the meeting for tonight. We allowed her to and said she may attend if she'd like. Did you hear anything back? No, didn't hear anything back.
Okay, so with that,
Need
we make a motion
need
to
a
accept it?
motion.
Okay. Mr. Vice Mayor, I would make a motion pursuant to ARS Section 38-291 that we accept the resignation of District 5 Councilwoman Charlene Giles, and I request to waive Section 2-4-10A prior discussion rule.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposing, nay?
Do we need a roll call vote, Mayor, or Bill, or no?
I think this is important enough for you probably should. No, technically you don't. You only need roll call for financial usually, but I think this is so important, it might be wise to have a roll call.
So Shelley, do you want to do the roll call?
Now you have to ask anybody. Everybody's voted.
Okay, that's fine. You're right. Well, the reason is the open meeting law changed, and you're supposed to acknowledge how everybody voted, but you raise a good point. Then I think, Shelley, you should say it was unanimous. All persons voted unanimously. Had there been a nay, then you would have to do a roll call vote. Good point. Good point.
Mayor Damaris, did you hear the
Yes, I did. Yes, mine was yes, accepting.
Okay. Motion passes.
Okay.
How do we,
Mr. Mayor, members, or Mr. Vice Mayor, members of council, that's all we have for tonight.
do I have a motion
So,
to?
so her seat is officially vacant at this moment.
Right.
And does the, will that position affect quorum? Vacant?
Yeah, I mean, well, it depends. Your quorum will always stay the same. You need a majority, and so you will now need a majority of 7, and so the majority of 7 is 4, and so the quorum doesn't change. Sometimes it says you actually have to have a majority of those authorized. So you could have, let's assume a quorum showed of 4. And some actions actually require a majority of the number of council members. So but it doesn't affect quorum. Quorum will always stay the same.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, to Councilor Shipley, I think what the situation becomes with 6 members, you have the possibility of a 3-3 vote, which would fail because of lack of a quorum.
Okay, so do we,
Wouldn't be lack of a quorum. It'd be failure to have a majority.
Okay, lack of majority.
are
Yeah.
we required to replace her position within a certain amount of time?
We have that, you have that requirement to replace, there's not a requirement to replace a certain amount of time. It had already been scheduled for the agenda on the 13th that we bring forward a process. We have a presentation and a suggested process that will go out in the 13th. It is very wide open, a lot of time to settle in, let people apply. It's council's process to decide, but there is no rush to replace this. But you would want to do it sooner rather than later.
Okay.
And but there's no statutory requirement that replace it within a certain amount of days.
Is it similar
To how-
when we had to
I think
replace
it,
Mike Humphrey, or-
I knew we wanted to revisit that, and I found some other cities that have done some things that I think are very creative and will satisfy many members of council. I didn't want to go into detail tonight,
Sure.
but I
13th,
think on
we'll
the,
discuss it.
what's that?
On the 13th.
On the 13th, we'll definitely have a full discussion, and we hope to get direction of how to begin the process. We'll have information for you by Friday, and hopefully by Tuesday you can have learned enough and thought about this enough that you can get the ball rolling by the Tuesday, the 13th.
Good. Do you have any other questions?
I have none. Covers mine.
Mayor, you good?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Moved?
Second.
Motion made. Any, no. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposing?
No.
All right. Meeting adjourned.